Hi there, this is Ed Herzog, and welcome to my video on FastComet web hosting versus SiteGround web hosting. I want to do three things in this video. First of all, I want to talk about why I decided to leave SiteGround as a customer. Secondly, I want to talk about how I picked FastComet once I decided to leave SiteGround. And third, I want to show you a comparison and contrast between FastComet and SiteGround, looking at their features, their plans, their pricing, so you can make an informed decision for yourself. So, first of all, why did I decide to leave SiteGround? I was with SiteGround for 3 years. I was a 100% satisfied customer. I want to be honest about that. I'm not here to bash SiteGround in any way. If you're looking at or considering SiteGround as your web host, I would encourage you to do that. You know, I have absolutely no problem with SiteGround. It was nothing about speed. It was nothing about service. But one of the things that happens with web hosting is you often get brought in at a kind of a low price, kind of an introductory price. This is often a huge discount, 50, 60, 70, 80% off. And particularly if you sign a long-term contract, which I did, I signed up for 3 years of SiteGround, you get an even bigger discount. So the longer contract, the larger the discount. So I got 3 years of SiteGround at a very minimal price. But then my contract came up for renewal. And when your contract comes up for renewal, you all of a sudden have to pay full price. And I understand that model, absolutely. I mean, and again, I'm going to be 100% honest here with you. FastComet has the exact same pricing model, so it's no different. But anyway, so when my SiteGround renewal came up in April of this year, April of 2019, it was simply more than I could afford to pay. It was way outside the amount that I could afford to pay. So that was honestly, again, I'm not here to bash SiteGround. It just wasn't for me anything I could afford at that point. I'm going to be, you know, I will be 100% honest with you. That's the sole reason I chose to switch. Okay, and FastComet does the exact same thing. Now, FastComet does have lower prices, so when my renewal with them comes up, which will be, again, I did 3 years with FastComet, it will be in April of 2022. The sticker price will be a lot less than, you know, that sticker price I got from SiteGround, which again was for me just way more than I could afford at that point in my life. So that's it. That's the reason why I decided to leave SiteGround. And it was interesting because I was around that same time, I was seeing people coming on Facebook and Facebook groups, a lot of other people going through the same thing with SiteGround. So no, it's not just me. You know, other people were in that situation where their SiteGround renewal was coming up and they're saying, I can't do this. I can't afford it. It's just too much for me. So again, I'm not here to bash SiteGround. I think they're a wonderful company. They have great service. I was very satisfied, but do be aware that that is an issue. It's an issue with most website hosts. But again, depending on what that post introductory period price is, you may be in for quite a sticker shock. I know I was. So that was my situation. So I was at a point where I needed to find a new website host. And I'm the type of person, I do a lot of research. I'll make pro and cons lists. I'll, read through all sorts of reviews. I'll compare features. And so that's what I did. I went through lots of different reviews. I focused on features that were important to me. Obviously, I wanted reliability. I wanted speed. I wanted good customer service. But those are things that are hard to know up front. Again, I could read customer reviews and that gave me some idea, but some of that I had to experience after I made the switch. So some of the things that were important to me, which may or may not be important to you, but these were things that were important to me. Again, and I was coming from SiteGround, so these were features that I had with SiteGround that I also wanted to have in my next web host. So one was a free SSL certificate. Second one was Cloudflare CDN. Third one was I wanted my sites to be migrated for free. Some people say you can do that yourself. It's just not something I wanted to mess with. When I switched to SiteGround years ago, which would have been over 3 years ago, they did that for me. They migrated my websites. And now I was switching again, so I wanted that service again. I wanted somebody to do that for me. Most web hosts will throw in a free domain for at least a year, so that was a feature that I was looking for, just a little perk. I think that was pretty much it. Those are kind of some of the main features I was looking for when I was making the switch. So I went through a lot of reviews. I spent a lot of time reading, considering, contemplating. I narrowed it down to a few different options. And at some point I just had to make a leap of faith, right? I think I had it down to 3 options, and I just decided to go for it. FastComet certainly seemed very good, and based on everything I read, they had all the features I wanted, and so I went all in. Again, I bought 3 years worth of service, and I've now been with them for 7 months, and I am very satisfied. I'm just as satisfied with them as I am with SiteGround, or as I was with SiteGround. And one of the things I was very interested in, and unfortunately I didn't do this at the time, so I don't have the information to show you, I didn't record it, is I did a speed test. So I tested my website when I was still at SiteGround, and I tested it immediately after I switched to FastComet. Because as I said, one of the things that's very important is the speed of your website, and a lot of that is based on your website host. I saw no change, absolutely none. It was, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like 1.8 seconds with SiteGround, and it was 1.8 seconds with FastComet. No change, absolutely nothing. So that was very good, right to see off the bat as soon as I switched. FastComet then migrated my websites. As I said, that was something that was very important to me. It was done within 5 or 10 minutes. I contacted customer service. I said, here are my websites. Can you migrate these over to your host? I'm now your customer. And they said, absolutely, we'll do it. Get right on it. And boom, it was done. So again, that showed me right there, customer service. They've got very good customer service. And then, I mentioned reliability. Again, I didn't know, it's hard to know ahead of time. Other people had said, their uptime was very good. And again, that has been my experience as well. So that was kind of the process that I went through in terms of choosing a new website host and why I went with FastComet. The other thing I'll mention is that FastComet does have a 45-day money-back guarantee, which tends to be longer than a lot of the other companies. So that gave me a bit more security when I made that decision to switch, is that, if this didn't work out, I could find a different host. I could decide, what, you're not what I expected. I'm going to have to ask for my money back. But that wasn't the case. It was, again, FastComet has been an absolutely wonderful experience. And I mentioned this in my review of FastComet that, I see a lot of people talking about SiteGround on, for example, in Facebook groups. And I understand. Again, I'm not here to bash SiteGround. SiteGround is wonderful. But I don't see as many people talking about FastComet. And to me, they're very comparable. In fact, I'm going to switch now. And we're going to, I'm going to show you some comparison and contrast. And there are some ways in which I think FastComet is clearly better than SiteGround. And so, I'm hoping as, if you're considering these two companies, and maybe you're considering other ones, not just these two, but, I definitely hope you'll give FastComet a chance, because I think this is a company that is absolutely growing, and you're going to hear more about them in the future. They've been around, I believe, for 5 to 7 years now. So it's not a startup. They have, on their website, they say they have 50,000 active customers. So again, that's a lot of customers. I don't know how that compares to SiteGround. I'm assuming it's less. But again, this is a very good company. This is a company you should, if you're looking for a website host, you can believe in and trust. My experience has been absolutely 100% positive with them. So all that being said, let me now switch over and show you my screen so that I can take you through a little comparison and contrast. So just give me a second here. Okay, so where am I at? Okay, here I'm just going to show you first just some expert reviews, some reviews of, actually not expert reviews, but reviews of customers. So again, just to show you that FastComet gets reviews that are just as good as SiteGround. You see here on Host Advice, they've got reviews from 768 people, and they've got a 9.6 overall. They're 9.5 and above on every single fact here: reliability, pricing, user-friendly, support, and features. And again, it's comparable. SiteGround is 9.7 based on 2,213 user reviews. That to me is, there's no statistical difference there. And again, it's the same thing: reliability, pricing, user-friendly, support, features. SiteGround is 9.4 and above on every single one. So, again, they're comparable on that. People who use them like them. That's true of SiteGround. It's also true of FastComet. But again, I do think there are reasons to prefer FastComet. I want to talk a bit about those. So, first of all, if you look at plans and pricing, they both have, and I'm looking here, I'll say I'm looking at the WordPress hosting because I do use WordPress. So there might be other types of hosting that this doesn't apply to, but this is what I know. This is what I can talk about. So first of all, they both have 3 plans. SiteGround has Startup, Grow Big, and Go Geek, and FastComet has Fast Cloud, FastCloud Plus and FastCloud Extra. That's really hard to say. And you can see right off the bat. Now, again, they often have special promotional pricing, and that's what you're seeing here in the bold. You can already see for their basic plan, FastCloud is $1 a month less, and the renewal price is $2 less a month. So it's $11.95 is the renewal price for the basic plan for SiteGround, where it's only $9.95 for FastCloud. Now for this one here, the Plus, you see the mid-tier plan, and this is the one I had with both companies. I had the mid-tier plan. So I had the Grow Big with SiteGround, I have the FastCloud Plus with FastComet. That's a tongue twister right there. So they're both $5.95. But the renewal price for SiteGround is $19.95 a month. For FastCloud, it's $14.95 a month. So it's $5 less a month. That adds up over time. It's $60 a year. And if you're like me and are maybe doing 3 years at a time, that could be $180. That's a decent chunk of savings right there. And then the extra plan, it's $9.95 for FastCloud, FastComet, and $11.95 over here for SiteGround for Go Geek. Wow, can't talk all of a sudden. So $2 a month saving at the introductory price, and then the regular price, SiteGround is $34.95 a month. FastCloud is $19.95 a month. So $15 a month saving, $180 a year. If you're doing maybe a 3-year plan, it might be $500 that you're going to save on FastComet relative to SiteGround. So here's the other thing. As you go through here and look at the features, now they boast on their basic plan, you get a single website for the very basic plan, and you get unlimited for the next 2 plans. That doesn't change. But one thing you notice, first of all, FastComet gives you more storage space. So here they're giving you 15 gigabytes, 25 gigabytes, and then 35 gigabytes as you move up plans. Whereas SiteGround is 10, 20, and 30. So you're getting 5 extra gigabytes of storage space. So if that's something that matters to you, you're going to get more of that with FastComet. Also in terms of website visitors. Now, I don't think they actually restrict the number of website visitors. They're just telling you like what is a suitable number based on the plan. What you'll see is that you get more potential visitors with FastComet. Again, here we're over on SiteGround. You get 10,000, 25,000, and then 100,000. Whereas on FastComet, versus that 10,000, here it's 25,000, more than, that's 2.5 times as much. On FastCloud versus the Grow Big, it's 25,000 versus 50,000. So again, FastComet is giving you potentially twice as many website visitors. And then for this last plan, they're both at 100,000. So for the Go Geek versus the FastCloud Extra, they're both 100,000. So that doesn't change between the 2 plans, between the 2 companies. Now I'm not going to go through here and compare them on every single feature because some of these it's kind of hard to explain. And like here, FastComet is talking about the CPU cores available. SiteGround doesn't list that information, so I can't really do that comparison. But again, you do get 45 days money back with FastComet. SiteGround gives you 30 days. So again, you do get 15 extra days to evaluate FastComet than you do with SiteGround. Also, just looking here, one of the things I noticed is that, where is this at? So on the very basic plan for SiteGround, you do not get a free site transfer, but you do get that on FastComet. So, that is, again, particularly if you're looking at the more basic introductory plan, you do get the free site transfer on FastComet. You don't get it on SiteGround. So that's another advantage right there for FastComet. So those are some definite advantages that I see for FastComet. There's one other very important advantage, which I think hopefully will resonate with you, which is the amount of server data centers they have. SiteGround has 5. Okay, they've got one here in Council Bluffs, Iowa, one in Chicago. So they've got 2 kind of in the Midwest in the United States. These other ones have something to do with Cloudflare, so they're not have anything directly to do with with SiteGround. Then we've got 2 here in Europe, 1 in London, 1 in, I don't know how to say that, Eemshaven in Amsterdam. And then we've got 1 here in Singapore. So 2 in the United States, very closely located, one next to the other. 2 in Europe, and then 1 here in Asia. And that is it. Guess how many FastComet has? They've got 10. They have twice as many. So they've got, sorry, I don't have the map pulled up here, but they've got 1 in Chicago, Illinois, 1 in Dallas, Texas, and 1 in Newark, New Jersey. So they've got 3 in the United States, a bit more spread out than what you see with SiteGround. In Europe, they've got 1 in Frankfurt, 1 in Amsterdam, and 1 in London. So again, they've got 3 there in Europe versus 2 versus SiteGround. They've got here in Singapore, they both have Singapore, but then FastComet also has Tokyo and they have Mumbai. So they've got 3 in Asia versus 1 in Asia for SiteGround. And finally, FastComet also has 1 in Toronto. So they've got 1 in Canada. So you can see that, the importance of this is that it's important for you to have a data center that is near where your website visitors, where your clients tend to come from. So with both companies, you get to choose which location you want. But with FastComet, because they have 10, they have twice as many, there's a better chance that you'll be able to pick a server that fits for your website visitors, which means that they're going to experience faster website load times on your website. So, that is very, very important. It's a huge advantage for FastComet right there. Okay, so so right now I'm seeing, a lot of advantages for FastComet. I haven't talked about any for SiteGround, so I will give you one. I do think there is one advantage that SiteGround has. Again, I like to be honest, and that is very important to me. I'm not going to just, even though I work as an affiliate for FastComet, I'm not just going to say FastComet is the best and SiteGround is horrible. I've said already, I think SiteGround is wonderful too. I just think FastComet is as good, if not better. I've given you several reasons why they're better. The one advantage that SiteGround has is they do have what is known as their Super Cacher plugin. This is a pretty good caching plugin. They claim it's as good as WP Rocket, which you might be familiar with. WP Rocket is one of the paid caching plugins. I have WP Rocket. I've compared it, when I was still with SiteGround, I compared the WP Rocket with the Super Cacher from SiteGround. Personally, I found WP Rocket to be better. It gave me better website speed load time. So I do think Super Cacher is a very good plugin. And so if, having that sort of plugin along with your website hosting is of value to you, then certainly that's a reason to think about SiteGround as opposed to FastComet. But I do also want to note that they don't give you all the caching benefits on this basic plan. They do say, where is this at? So they've got some of their caching here, and you can see this WordPress special cache that is X'd out right there on their basic plan. So it doesn't come with the full thing. And then they've got, of course, I can never find things when you're looking for them in the moment. But there was something that they have with the caching, like a level 1, level 2, and level 3. In this basic plan, you only get level 1 of the caching, whereas with the other 2, you get up through level 3. So again, that is an advantage that SiteGround has. And again, I'm very happy with FastComet. If you're looking for a website host, it is one that I would personally recommend. That's not to say I don't think SiteGround is good. It is. But looking at these two, looking at what I've just showed you, and trying to be as objective as possible, I would personally recommend FastComet. I don't see any, other than the Super Cacher plugin, I don't see any obvious advantage for SiteGround, but I do see several obvious advantages for FastComet. So if you have questions or comments about my review, about my comparison and contrast between SiteGround and FastComet, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer whatever questions you have. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got more videos coming out on lots of different tools to help you grow your business. Again, I do work as an affiliate for FastComet. I do that because I'm a very, very, very satisfied customer. So if you do choose to buy FastComet, I will put my link in the video description. If you buy via my link, I do receive a small commission. It does help me keep my videos free, keep all my content free. I've got blog posts as well. That is one of my goals. I don't, at this point, sell anything directly. I promote companies that I believe in, and FastComet is a company that I believe in. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it valuable. And again, if you've got questions, please let me know. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.